All right, we're gonna go talk to a close friend of mine. Her name's Ashley, and she has just an amazing testimony. And how she encountered Jesus was so beautiful. So I'm so excited for her to share and for her to ask me questions, for me to ask her questions. So we're about to head over there, um, and I'm just so excited for the people watching to see how she encountered Jesus, and maybe it can apply to some of your guys' lives. So I just really want, I'm just hoping that that'll happen, and I'm excited. So I'll see you guys there. All right, I'm here with Ashley today, like I was just talking about, and I'm so excited. I'm like, whoa, right?
I'm
So
nervous.
yeah, just share a little bit about
Nervous.
yourself, about your testimony, and yeah, let's
Okay.
get right into it.
Yeah. Okay. It's so weird. We have a live audience, so I have people staring at me while I talk. But I didn't grow up in a Christian household. Do I look at the camera or do I look at you?
Whatever feels
Okay.
most
Okay.
comfortable.
I did not grow up in a Christian household. I actually grew up in a broken home. The only thing that I knew about Jesus was from Sunday school, and I remember I was like 6, and I was sitting in Sunday school, like bored out of my mind because I hated Catholic mass.
Hmm.
But the teacher, she said, one of the kids asked like where is God? And she was like, God is everywhere. He's in your mind, he's outside of your mind, like he's everywhere. And immediately, like when she said, oh, he's in your mind, he can hear your thoughts, that both that instilled like fear in me, but also doubt,
Hmm.
because like even when I was little, I kind of always just felt like an alien. I never felt like I fit in anywhere. I was bullied a lot, kindergarten right up and through into high school, and so I always just felt out of place everywhere, no matter what. Um, and so I never really thought about God much. My parents got divorced when I was 8, and so my twin brother Adam, who
Right.
Adam
Yeah.
and we were bouncing back and forth between my mom's house and my dad's house, like multiple times every week, and that was really hard. So that also, like, I just didn't really have a home. Like, I had 2 homes with 2 separate parents who were very angry with each other. So I was hearing bad things from both sides. So I just, everything in my life was up in the air. I didn't really have anything. And from, I think, the age of 9, I started noticing that I was different, um, getting sad, getting anxious, and not understanding what that meant. I didn't talk to anybody. I thought it was normal. And when I was 11, I was groomed for the first time. And when you're that young, you know that there's something weird, but you don't get it.
Right.
And they also, they're like, oh, when someone starts talking to a kid like that, they make them feel even more ostracized, even more like, don't tell anybody, nobody will understand this. Um, and so that did not help. I started vaping and smoking weed and a few other drugs and things like that, and not so much drinking, but just trying not to be sober, just trying not to think, trying anything to not think.
Hmm.
And after he was found out, he magically disappeared, according to me. Um, uh, and then after that happened, I kind of just felt totally alone because I felt ostracized. And then the one person who claimed to know me was then forcefully taken away, as he should have been. But I didn't understand that. And so now I was even more alone, and I was even more shut into myself. Um, the first time I was admitted to psychiatric facility for trying to kill myself, I was 12 years old. I was hospitalized again at 13, um, once more before the end of the year, and another time when I was 15. I had 14 suicide attempts from the age of 12 to 14. I was on several medications for bipolar, ODD, anxiety, depressive disorder, literally anything you can name it, they probably put me on it.
Hmm.
I was on multiple tranquilizers as mood stabilizers. Most of the medicine that they gave me was for schizophrenic people to help just shut down their mind. I was in 7th grade when they gave me this medicine. It's called Seroquel. And what it does essentially is turn you into a zombie.
Oh
You
wow.
are blank. You don't think, you don't do anything. And I don't remember anything from that time. The only thing I do remember is talking with my mom after they took me off it. And she would tell me at the dinner table, I would just sit there and she would have to tell me to pick up my fork and eat, to look at her
Wow.
and say, how was your day? And I would just be like, mm. And so that was miserable, naturally. And after I was hospitalized for the 3rd time, I was done. I was 13 years old. I had already tried to kill myself 13 times by that point. I was hospitalized 3 times for suicide attempts, one overdose that was almost successful, and I didn't know what to do. Um, I had tried everything. I tried filling it with drugs, that did not work. Um, I tried filling it with being popular, that didn't work because nobody liked me because I was weird, because I had all this going on. Um, and I also, as a last resort, I had turned to men and women in terms of like relationships, things like that. I actually became very popular. Um, I guess in a roundabout way. I don't really know how to phrase this. Uh, in a very roundabout way, I was essentially a porn star, you could say. Even at my young age, it didn't really matter. And I started to get very well known. I had hundreds of guys and girls on my phone texting me, and that made me feel seen. But at the same time, I was so utterly empty. And when you're groomed over and over again, and you're sexually assaulted multiple times, and you come across things like rape, your friends are getting raped, you're getting raped, and you come to that point subconsciously where you say, okay, if I can't keep this, then I'm just going to give it away. If
Right.
I cannot do everything in my power to keep my purity, then I'm just going to give it away. And if I give it away more and more, the more I give it away, the less important it becomes, and the less that those things will bother me, the less that they'll hurt. And what happens is you find that doesn't work like that. That purity doesn't work like that. That your own sexuality doesn't work like that. And I had come to this point. I was in my shower and I kneeled down on the ground and I started screaming out to whoever was up there. I said, God, I don't know if you're real, but if you are, you need to kill me because I can't do it. You need to kill me because my attempts aren't working. So if you're the one that's keeping me alive, then you need to be the one that take my breath away. You need to kill me, please. And at that point in my life, my viewpoint of God was he's doing this for fun. He's doing this the same reason everybody else is cruel to me, because it's funny, because he's bored, because this is a game. And so I essentially I asked my biggest enemy to put me out of my misery. And I got up and I went about with my life. And when I was 14, my mom sat me down and she was like, hey, I have this program that your uncle found. It's in Massachusetts. We want you to try it. And I was like, all right, if this doesn't work, then I'll do something else. So this was a rehabilitation program um, for 3 to 5 months. That was the longest I'd ever been away from home. The longest I've been at a rehab facility was probably about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month, if that. And so I was like, all right, I mean, I don't like being here anyways. Maybe Massachusetts will be fun. And the way that she put it to get me to go, she said it was faith-based. Okay, so that faith-based program ended up being Teen Challenge, which if anybody watching knows Teen Challenge, you know that it's very much more than faith-based. So for the first 2 weeks that I was there, I had this mentor, and she would over and over talk to me about Jesus. And I was like, lady, I don't care about your God. your God has done nothing for me except hurt me, and he's the reason that I'm here. And so I was very standoffish, and I'm very stubborn. Caleb knows that. I went to school with Caleb. He's sitting over there. Um, I'm very stubborn, and I was very, very mean and very, very rude. And so it was 2 weeks of me being there with the mentors and the teachers, and even the other girls that were around me that, either grew up in Christian homes or were saved at that point, telling me over and over about Jesus. And I had to read the Bible because I was enrolled in a Christian school there, so I had to start reading the scriptures. And I came to this one point 2 weeks in, where I was like, okay, these people are freaking relentless.
Right.
What is the big deal? I know that I got problems. I know that my life sucks, and I know I don't want to live this way. But like, holy cow, like, give it a rest. And so I remember I was sitting at morning devotionals, and the girls got up to go to the classroom that we had in the house because we couldn't leave the house. So we had a separate area for the classroom, and there was a teacher in there and everything. They left, and I was sitting there, and I didn't pick up my book from morning devotionals. It was the Jesus Calling devotional, and I had it open to the day that we were on, and I couldn't even read the words. I was sitting there, and I was just thinking, I have two choices. I have my way that got me here, that sucks, that I hate, or I can do what these people are telling me. And I was terrified of that because anytime I didn't know what was happening, something bad was coming. And so I got up, I went to the classroom, I opened my workbook, and I was like, okay, if I'm going to believe in Jesus Christ, then he's got to do something. He's got to do something. If he won't take my life away, then he's got to give me a new one. He's got to change everything. He's got to take away my mental illness. He's got to take away this hatred that I have for myself and for everybody else. He's got to take away all of this pain that I have and this emptiness that I have. There's nothing on the earth that could do that. So at that point, my hopes were very, very low. I viewed it as a placebo religion, something you go to when you need help. And so I started reading the scriptures, and I was talking to my mentor about, who even is this Jesus guy? Because I didn't know anything. I didn't know. The only thing I knew about Jesus was that he could hear inside of my mind. I didn't know the Trinity. I didn't know the Gospels. I didn't know how many apostles there were. I knew nothing. And so she started talking to me about, who he is. Actually get to learn who he is. Read the Gospels. Read the Old Testament. Read the New Testament. What is he saying? And I found that everything in there, while I did find fault with some things because I was hard-headed and I had my own opinions about what things meant, overall the character was good. Everything that I saw was gentle. Everything that I saw was kind. So then I started to think, well, then who is the God that I'm thinking of? Because he is not kind like this Jesus is. I ended up getting saved. And then I like to say getting saved again because I didn't know that meant you had to change the way that you live. Right. So I got saved in June, and then I got saved again in July because I didn't know you had to change the way you live. I came home that November, radically saved off of all of my medicines, just completely happy. I had never been happy in my life.
Wow.
Not from the time that I was a kid, not from the time I became a teenager, and I'd never been okay, and I was okay. I started coming to Redeemer Church, which we're at the Rome campus, Redeemer Church.
Right.
I've been here for 7 years now. It was a bumpy road. And I do want to share one of those bumps because I think that'd be very beneficial to people. I know I'm talking a lot, but
cool. Yeah.
So in summer of 2022, I ended up being followed after leaving a friend's house and assaulted outside of her home again. And that That was the 7th time that somebody had decided to take it upon themselves to take away a piece of me that I did not want to give them. And I knew this person very well for a number of years, actually. And I considered him to be one of my closest friends. He knew things about me that I had never told anybody, parts of my testimony that I'd never told anybody, details that I never shared with anybody. And he had promised that, that would never happen again. And what happened was I ended up starting to like him, as you do. And what I didn't realize is that he was manipulating me. And so I had just gotten home from vacation, and this was a year and a half of him being very, very cruel to me. And I decided, no more. I can't do this. You're mean to me. I don't like it. This is not the way that Christians should act. This is not the way that a man would treat his wife. So I said, no. And I came home from that vacation, and I went to this friend's house, and he ended up showing up after I left. It was very late, and he said, "Hey, can we talk?" And I said, "Yeah." And then that was kind of the end of it. I remember looking at the stars in the sky, and I said to myself, "Where is Jesus? Where is he in this?" Because if he saved me from everything that I was in, only to bring me here again, and then what do I do with that? And I went home, and I got in bed and I went to sleep, and I woke up and I just pretended that it didn't happen. And up until I think it was the 2023, or no, February of last year, I completely broke all ties with him. It was just a very manipulative time in my life, and I realized that this is not what God wanted from me. I felt so far away from him, and I didn't know what to do. So I just broke ties with everybody that I knew, with him, with our friend group, with the church. And I didn't leave the church, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to talk to. I couldn't tell my friends because he was part of my friend group for years. And so I kind of just, everybody leave me alone type deal. And I wrestled with it for a long, long time. And I think towards the end of 2024, I wanted my community back, because I started thinking about everything that he had saved me from, and the pain that I felt now is similar to the pain that I felt before. So if he did it before, then he can take it away again. And so I started to get connected again. March of this year, or was it last year? I think it was last year. I went to our women's retreat, and I ended up telling some friends there what had happened, and they supported me. I didn't think that anybody would believe me ever, but this entire church community, the college ministry that we have, encounter that we have,
Yep.
the girls, they all came to me and were like, "No, we support you. We love you. Like, come home. Come back to church. Come home. Like, we love you. We'll help you with this." And so since then, it's just been a time of healing, but also a time of, what do we do when we have pain and we come to Christ and it's gone, and then something bad happens again? And so it's been a time of learning who the Lord is, that I was not alone when that happened. He did not abandon me when that happened. He did not betray me when that happened. He did not leave me when that happened. He did not forsake me when that happened. And it's just been a long, long journey of learning who God is in the middle of things that he despises, because God did not sanction that. Okay, that was not part of his will. That, God does not waste anything. I firmly believe that, but I also firmly believe that was not in his will for me. God never wishes pain on his people. And so that's something that I had to learn through for a long, long time, because I did get angry again. You know, how can you let this happen to me? Type deal.
Yep.
But everything that I've learned up until like sitting here right now is that God is faithful and he does love, and loving does not come at your sacrifice. Loving does not come at the sacrifice of your pain, of your well-being. His love is completely perfect and completely whole. And so, yeah, that's basically it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
that really, that's powerful. Like, seriously.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
like, it's just like so crazy to see people with these like struggles, like especially you, like that
Mm-hmm.
is the most powerful testimony I've ever heard in my life. Like, seriously, like that's wow. And like, just for you to find Jesus in all of that,
Mm-hmm.
through all of that, and like I'm with you. Like, I come from a broken home as
Mm-hmm.
well, so like even that for me I feel like is a struggle. But even with like anything is just, it's so crazy to see his works through everything. So
Yeah.
it is really like that's beautiful to see
Yeah.
that. But so I did, because I know we talked about this before,
Mm-hmm.
like that you said it's okay if I ask any
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
And one question I had is like, what is it like in those like rehabilitation like programs and stuff like that? Is it like is that like, what's the environment like?
Um, it's something very unique. You know, you don't. It's a unique place. I can't think of anything that would give you an idea, but um, it's like putting hurting people in a box with, okay, so imagine this. So before I got saved, I did have demons. I would not go as far to call myself demon possessed, but I did hear voices that were not my own that would torment me.
Hmm.
So imagine you are yourself. You have essentially demons, evil spirits, you know, without risk of sounding schizo, living inside of you, driving you insane, you know, giving you anxiety, giving you depression. Now you put a bunch of those people in the same room. Now their demons are tormenting you.
Hmm.
It's essentially like a petri dish. Um, I don't want to bash psychiatric centers, but I will. I don't like them. I think they do more harm than good. In my personal experience, I have come across other people that are extraordinarily dangerous to others. Um, I was a hurting kid who just wanted to be loved, and I was put in a box with homicidal people, with people that, you know, would wish death upon me, would try to hurt me. Even the staff, at least the places that I've been, um, were extremely apathetic. Uh, in my experience, they view you as, um, I guess lazy would be the word, where they're okay. So why can't you just be okay? Just be okay. Like, you're 13, just be okay. Like, you don't have to pay taxes, you don't have financial struggles. Like, just be okay, you're fine. What is there to worry about? And so I, I do not like them. But I do know some people that have had phenomenal experiences in them, but I would say it sucked.
Hmm.
It sucked real bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes more sense now, because
Yeah.
personally never been in one. But like,
Yeah.
I definitely, like, I know a couple people have like been there, and
Hmm.
some have, like you said, like come out
Yeah.
a lot better,
Good.
and
Yeah.
then I've definitely seen the opposite side of that as
Yeah.
well. So it definitely seems like
It's
you'd
weird.
have to be there to really understand, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I definitely get that.
Yeah.
um yeah, I'm still like shell shocked right now. Like, it's really like, wow. Yeah, but no, it is really like the work set that Jesus does is
Hmm.
like, you can't
Crazy.
even like wrap your head fully around it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
It's just faith. But
It's always funny like sharing my testimony, because to me that's like normal testimony.
And it's
So
like
I'm just so people
mind-boggling
are
for
like,
me.
whoa, and I'm just like, I don't know. That's normal.
No, it's like mind-boggling for me, I feel like,
Thanks.
but yeah, no, it's definitely
Yeah.
like wow. Um yeah, I just like I don't even know what to
That's
say,
okay. I
but
have questions for
yeah.
you, I guess.
Yeah, I should go
Okay.
for it.
Actually, wait. Let me check my notes. This is probably not proper
It's
podcast
okay.
etiquette, but
It
I
is
don't know
okay.
any of those people, so it's all right. Okay. Ooh. Okay, this is a good one. Um, you weren't raised in a Christian home.
It's not, no.
Okay, because I want to talk. I want to answer this question too. But what was one like misconception that you had about not necessarily Christians, but like followers of Jesus?
Ooh. Yeah, so my dad is not a believer. My mom is actually starting to step into
Oh
the
yeah.
faith right now. So she was at our church today.
Oh.
Um and she brought all my brothers along and my aunt. So like I really like to see that, but
Mhm.
with me just growing up, my dad is like a gangster is the best way to put it. He just so I he was in prison for like 3 or 4 years
Mhm.
from I think 2020 to 2023 or 2024. So I am just now starting to kind of gain a connection back with him, but like I completely lost it, especially because I was like 10 or 11.
Mhm.
So like kind of it was a huge disconnect, and then he came back and he had all these stories, and this is
Mhm.
before I was saved, so he had all these stories I thought were normal, where people were just shanking each other in jail or they're doing this and that, and then he tells me about it, and um, the reason that he was in prison is because he went and he sold drugs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
He was a drug dealer, right? So I thought it was totally normal. I thought it was a normal thing, and he actually like he tells his friends this story too. He was like I'm according to him, what I asked him, I was like, well, why did you go to jail? And he was like, well, because I had these things in my car. And I was like, well, what's the problem with that? Because I always thought it was normal. He had it all over the house all the time growing up. And so one thing like I noticed is one, I think it was 2024. Someone who was evangelizing that day came up to me, asked me if I knew what the gospel was. I said no, and they shared this story with me that, in all honesty, was not the gospel, but they portrayed this Jesus that was not the Jesus that I
Yeah.
know. And that I think was what made me
Mm.
kind of drift off a little bit just to start, because I was like struggling with drugs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and I was drinking, and I was hanging out with these crowds, and I was with the crowd, that wrong crowd, like when this person that was evangelizing was talking to us. So
Mhm.
when he did, I was just like brushed it off, and then we went and we probably did something, I can't remember, we did something probably bad, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And so that kind of like drifted me away, and I was just like, well, if this is this Jesus guy who does these miracles and he does these things, why is he not doing it for me? Why is he
Mm.
not just radically like changing me?
Yeah.
And I think what it took for me to understand that is that he's at the door, but he's asking you to open it. He's
Mm.
telling us to, he wants us to open the door. He's not going to just like open it for you and pull you in.
Yeah.
You open it, then he will pull you in. And that's what like I had to understand then, is like, why is he not doing these things? It's because I don't have any faith in him. And I'm not saying that because I definitely have heard all the stories where there's like very unfaithful driven prayers that do come true, but at the same time, it's like if you don't have any faith, it's kind of like it's
Mhm.
pointless. You know what I mean? So that was like a big thing for me, is like with my dad doing the things that he did, like kind of having me be like him. And he would always tell me, he would say, I don't want you to be me, I want you to be better than me. But it would always be the type of thing where it's like, you know what you're trying to do. Like
Yeah.
he's trying to get me to do this,
I
and
want
he's
you to
trying to
sell
get me
more
to,
drugs than I do.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what it
Yeah.
basically was.
Yeah.
So I was just like no. And so that's kind of like a big
Mhm.
problem, I guess, that it became problematic when I actually went to church for the first time, and I heard that, like, oh well, actually selling drugs is like not normal. I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, but
You guys don't do that.
no,
How do you spend
yeah.
your Saturdays?
So that was like a big thing for me.
Mhm.
And you said you wanted to answer it too,
I do
so
want to answer that. Yeah.
yeah.
So, I actually never had anyone share the gospel with me before I came to faith.
Wow.
Um, the only time I ever heard the gospel was when I went away, and everyone was just talking about it with themselves. So I was like listening in because I was like, the girls back home are gonna love this
Yeah.
gossip. Get a load of these chicks. Um, I think one of the biggest misconception. Okay, yeah, one of those was that Jesus doesn't care who you are. I think a lot of people, I can't even say like people that were in the faith because everyone that when I was away was so great, but I guess in the Catholic Church, is not bashing the Catholic Church. Oh my gosh, I'll get gunned down. But in the Catholic Church that I was in, almost every single person that was there was kind of just a churchgoer and not actually like, you know. So most of it was just you go not because you want to, you just go because you have to. Like this is what you do. It doesn't matter what you want to do. It doesn't matter how you feel. Nothing matters. And so my view of Jesus, but also his people, was just like this unyielding like iron fist. And it was just so unappealing to me. I was like, why would anybody ever do that? Like
Right.
there's rules and there's regulations and there's like it doesn't like there's no like circumstantial anything. There's no leeway with anything. There's no grace. Now I know that's not actually Jesus, nor is that
Right.
actually biblical, but my conception of church people was like these like just like warriors that just like teared down everything and didn't matter what was in their path. They just wanted to do what they wanted to do.
Mm,
And like in the name
yeah.
of their God.
Yeah. It's like it's funny you mentioned that because I think the reason my dad stepped away because my dad went to like Catholic
Mhm.
Sunday school,
Mhm.
right? And he like I like my dad's a smart guy. Like he's smart and he is. I'm not bashing my dad. I love my dad so much, but he's a manipulative person. And he said he manipulates his words
Mhm.
so because I've had 3 to 4 hour long debates with him
Mhm.
about this stuff because I know it's true. Like I and I don't understand how he doesn't know it's true because of me because he's seen where I was and where I'm at now.
Mhm.
And it's so I still like honestly I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, but also it's like he grew up in the Catholic Church where they took the Bible and were basically shoving it down their throat.
Yeah.
And
They
I
hit you
think
with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where it's like I think that's where and I think that's why he stepped away.
Yeah.
And because he thought that it was by good works that gets him into heaven, and
Yeah.
it's by if he does this thing wrong, or if he's hanging out with this group of friends, which he was,
Mm.
if he was hanging out with these people, then he's condemned to hell for life.
Yeah.
And there's no grace behind it.
Yeah.
And God is just this very cruel, ungraceful, unforgiving God.
Mm.
And that's just, it's not the truth. And he, honestly, I've never asked him this, but I actually do plan to now. Is like, have you actually read the scriptures? Because nowhere does it say that he's unforgiving and that he will, if you don't do this work, then you're condemned to hell for the rest of your
Mhm.
life. It doesn't say that anywhere. So it's like, what makes him so driven away from that?
Yeah.
And that's like a thing I would
Yeah.
definitely still have to open up about more. But yeah, so not definitely not bashing my dad. I love him, but I want to see him in heaven.
Mm.
That's the main
Yeah.
objective here. So yeah, that's definitely a big misconception with how I've first started
Mhm.
even seeing people of the faith or anything like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, um,
Do you have any other questions? Like for me, I love when people ask me questions about my testimony.
I
Like if you don't have any,
definitely
that's
do.
okay.
I definitely do.
Because I have other questions we could do.
Yeah. So I remember you said like with So were there like multiple? Was it all the same place that you went for
No.
the different? So they were all different,
Hmm.
every single one of them.
So I went to one. I don't think I want to give the name of it because I,
Yeah,
because I said some not
that's
nice
okay.
things. So,
Yeah.
there was one, in this area. There was two that I went to. I went to one twice, and I went to another one. And actually, at that one, I actually ended up my psychiatrist ended up pulling me out because I got worse when
Hmm.
I was in there. And then the other one that I went to was in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you probably said it and I just didn't pick it up. So what year did you go to Massachusetts?
That was 2019.
And then when did you come back?
I came back the same year, so I went
Oh, okay.
2019. I went in July 23rd, and I came out November 9th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, nice little
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Also, I do want to say, if anyone from my old high school is watching, there is a rumor that I've heard to this day, up until this week. I saw one of the girls that I used to went to high school with. I did her hair the other day. To this day, there's still a rumor that's going around that when I went out to Massachusetts, I was sent to a conversion camp because I was gay. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
that's why I believe in Jesus now. Is because I went to a conversion camp,
Oh,
and I think that's hilarious.
that's the rumor around.
That's the rumor.
What school did you go to?
Whitesboro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it was not a conversion camp, guys. I just got off drugs. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's like the fourth time I've heard this. So I'm like, who said that? Like that's
Yeah,
so funny.
that's
It's like they don't have those anymore, guys. This is not the 1980s. It's okay.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite the rumor. But yeah, do you have any other questions or
Let me look in the Trusty Notes app. Um, I don't know. Now that I read these, they're not that good. I don't know. I want to know. Why did you start this podcast?
Oh,
Because you
that's a
mentioned it
good
to me
question.
like weeks ago, and you were like, "Do you want to be on it?" And I was like, "Yes, this is my dream."
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So the reason I'm doing it is because I just took like a step back and I looked around our church and I've heard a bunch of people's testimonies. I've heard how they encountered Jesus or just the work that's been going on like in their lives just like as they've been saved, and I was just like, this needs to be like people need to hear this because
Mm.
like it was the same thing with me before I was saved, is like that one time when that person was evangelizing obviously didn't work,
Yeah.
but there's people that have never heard the gospel, that have
Hmm.
never heard the works that Jesus does, have never heard the things that like the reason that people are Christian, because it's not because we wear the cross around our neck or we go to
Hmm.
church or we have a Bible. It's because we're sinners in need of a savior, and Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life,
Hmm.
and no one comes to the Father except through him. And like that's why I'm starting this, because like I just want this massive outreach. I want these people who have never heard the gospel to one hear it, and also like these people that I'm talking to, even with you, I want people who are watching this now to, oh, I've had this same thing happen to me,
Hmm.
and she found Jesus. Why can't I?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna steal Pastor Josh saying, "Why not us? Why not now?"
Hmm.
Because that's like what we want to happen. Is like right now we want these people, and I think back all the way like with Charlie Kirk passing, like that was just
Hmm.
a big thing. They were running to the churches.
Hmm.
Why can't we do that with just now? Why can't we
Yeah.
just notice that we are a slave to sin? Let's run to the churches. So that's kind of what my mindset was on starting this and why I wanted to start it. And it was just like, why wouldn't I? Like
Yeah.
if I got the
Yeah.
I got people. I have amazing community at our church. I got a bunch of people who have testimonies that they probably would love to share. Why wouldn't I? So that
Yeah.
was definitely the reason I wanted to start it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Go for it. Caleb has a question.
So I wanted to
Peanut
ask,
gallery.
because I think it's an important question and I think it's an important topic. So Ashley, you
Mhm.
experienced a lot of really bad situations with guys.
Mhm.
And so how has that impacted, and then how has Jesus changed your idea of masculinity?
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Um, my view from men was extremely distorted, but I don't want to say that in the fact that the men that I've dealt with in my life have been many, and most of them have been awful. However, there's that saying, it's not all men. And there's also another saying, it's like, yeah, not all men, but not all 19th century rats either, or 18th century rats either. And so that was my viewpoint for a long time. It's like, yeah, not all men, but it only takes a few to poison population. And so I was, I guess you could say, like, man hater. Like, I would I did not like men at all. And I just thought, like, even after I got saved, even after I came back to the church after what happened, I had this thing where it said, even if they are saved and sanctified and love God at the deepest part of their heart, if they can take advantage of you, they will. If they get the opportunity, they will. And that sucks to operate out of, but that was what I thought was the truth. I never come across any man or men that I felt safe around. I think, I don't know if guys have this, but like as women, like you kind of get like this like prickling sensation where it's like, oh my god, like you immediately know if a guy is safe or not. I never felt okay with anybody like alone at all. Like if there was like a group of like three of us girls and like one of the guy, not one of our guys, but like before I was saved, like a guy, I would be like, do not leave me here alone. Like I would get up and leave even if I had nowhere to go. And then what happened was, the guy that, ended up assaulting me, he was part of the church, I thought, until I realized that he wasn't. And so that also distorted me too, because I knew outside of the church that men weren't safe. Now I'm finding out that even the men in the church aren't safe.
Wow.
And so that was hard, because I had to go to God and say, the creation you made sucks. God knows that. God knows that. We sinned. He knows it sucks. That's why we had the great flood. That's why we have rainbows, okay? He's like, you do not need to tell me that men suck. I know. And so it was a lot of like warring back and forth of like starting to believe they might be okay and then going back, and like it was a whole thing. And then I met, well, actually, but first, so my twin brother that I mentioned, Adam, I ended up watching him get saved with my own eyes at one of our conferences. I think it was 2 or 3 years now. He's been saved for like a while. I didn't even realize it. I watched him get saved with my own eyes right in front of me. It was Asher Dematis that ended up praying for him at the altar, and he accepted Christ as his Lord and Savior.
Wow.
I watched it. And so that was a fulfillment from the Lord for me. I've seen how his ways have changed, how he thinks and how he acts with, he started dating Cadence, which is one of my best friends. They've been together for like a year and a half or something like that. I haven't counted. And I see how he acts towards her and how he handles her and the things that they go through and how he responds. And I'm just like, okay, there might be something here. And then Zach Trass and Lorenzo and Andrew, my cousin Andrew Abdu, got saved a while ago, and the way he lived his life started changing. And then you, did I say Jameer already? I don't even know who I listed, but all of the guys in our group, there's probably like 6 of them. I almost did it. There's like six of them, 6 to 8, and yes, it was safe. And when I came back to the church, I was hanging out with the girls a lot, and then one by one, like these guys started coming into our church, and I was seeing how they acted. And a big one that finally broke like the viewpoints that I had is Jameer, because never in my life have I met a man so calm in his heart, so calm in his spirit, so calm in his mind, in the way that he moves, in his actions, like his words, like everything is so utterly peaceful and silent. I never met somebody like that in my life.
Yeah.
And like Lorenzo, like Devin, like we joke around and none of their jokes hurt. Like Andrew, like none of his jokes hurt. And so it took getting around a community of guys who have gentleness and peacefulness in their actions, but also in their hearts, in the words that come out of their mouths and the way that they think, to really change my perspective on it. Because if I'm only around women and I'm just thinking men are awful, maybe they're okay, no, men are awful, maybe they're okay, men are awful, I'm going to do that till I die. It's like a little rat in a little wheel. Like, you can get off of it, but you're going to go back on it eventually. So it took witnessing it to break me out. And I'm incredibly thankful for the guys in our friend group. Even you, Caleb. Like, I've seen how you changed since high school. Caleb and I went to high school together. So if he becomes famous, I also would like recognition. I also, do not forget me, both of you guys. I will be on that yacht with you, okay?
Oh yeah.
Or that mission field, whichever one comes first.
Mission field on a yacht.
I like that idea. Just even the men pastors that we have are out of this world.
Yeah.
Pastor Josh Moore, never met a man like him in my life. Phenomenal pastor.
Yeah.
Like, you know how the world's always like, oh, men, masculine means no heart. Masculine means like you don't feel. I hate that. That's not masculine at all. It's easier not to feel. That makes you weak. It's easier not to feel. We know what's harder is feeling something and being gentle towards your enemies. Right. That's harder. Right. Which the gangster lifestyle I also was very close with. So it's like that whole thing where it's like, don't feel. That makes you tough. No, it doesn't. It's so easy not to feel.
Right.
So any gangsters watching, start feeling stuff because that's harder and that makes you more gangster if you feel your emotions. Jesus wept. So if you don't weep, you're committing Christological heresy.
Right.
Yeah, Caleb loved that.
Yeah. The one thing that came to mind when you were talking about it was like, I was just thinking like forgiveness. So like, was it like, how difficult was it to forgive these people?
The men in my past, not very hard. The question would come up in my mind sometimes of I'm angry. But it's easy to say they're not saved. They don't know Jesus Christ. If you don't know Jesus Christ, you have no moral law. If you don't know Jesus Christ, you have nothing that binds you to being ethical, to caring about people, even other religions. There's different moral debates, and none of them are rooted in humanity, in the value of humanity. So it's easy for me to just bypass them. They have no moral necessity, no bias to treat me with respect. Okay. For the kid in the church, I will say he knew Christ, he knew Scripture, without saying, just take me at my word that he knew Scripture. That was harder. To have it be somebody who knew how much pain comes from having something taken away from you like that, and then to swear to protect, and instead you end up essentially taking notes on what I told you and being more successful than them, that I could not forgive as easily, except Jesus. I remember actually the second person I told was a friend. He lives far away. He travels for work, and I'm very, very proud of him. I ended up FaceTiming him for the first time in a long time. This was back in 24, I believe. And I said, hey, I got to talk to you about something. And but the friend that I'm talking to grew up with this guy. So I said, hey, this is what happened. Now, my friend is not saved, or was not saved. I don't really know where he's at right now. I haven't spoke to him in a little bit, and I don't know. But I do know at the time, this kid did have arsenal in his pocket to do something about it in a very not Christ-like way. And so he said, Ash, do you want me to come home and handle it? And I just kind of, it's such a movie thing. I just kind of sat there and I could absolutely give him this kid's address, give him this kid's school, his family's names. I could get revenge in such a pleasing way. And all I had to do was say yeah. And so I said no, because I was wrestling with God. And I said, Lord, you have not taken revenge on him. In fact, he's prospered. He is going to have a very successful career. He's going to, thrive in all the ways that I wanted to thrive. And he doesn't even care. I want to do something about it. I want to take away from him something like he took away from me, and I want it to hurt worse. Because I want him to know that even though he overpowered me, I still have something left. And the Lord said to me, aren't you a sinner too? Lord, how can you compare me to a rapist? How can you sit there and say you're the same as him? And what I had come to realize in that moment was that my sin isn't canceled out because somebody else sins against me.
Right.
I have hurt people. Not in the same way. But isn't pain still pain? And so I had to learn that I don't like being compared to this kid. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if he does not have Christ and I do not have Christ, we are going to the same place. And if he has Christ and I have Christ, we're going to the same place. Because if I want life to be fair, then I can forfeit heaven and I can forfeit Jesus Christ. Because fair is me separated from God for eternity. No, what I want is the complete love and grace and mercy of Jesus Christ. So if that means that guy has to be forgiven, don't care, I want it too. That matters more to me.
Right. Yeah.
So it was not easy, and it did not happen overnight. Believe me, I wish it did. It did not happen overnight. But, and I'm still working on it, but God is faithful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember if I have any more questions. I'm trying to remember, because I should have done what you did and just
That's
wrote
okay.
it down in some notes. But
You said ask questions. I was like, I'm gonna forget when I get there.
yeah, no, I had them in my mind. But yeah, wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering. So, you found forgiveness, and I know. So how many siblings do you have?
I
know you
just
have
have
Adam.
my twin brother. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was it like with him though? Because I know you were off, then you came back.
Yeah.
What was Adam doing? Where was he?
Why did he? What do you? So, Adam, I love my brother very, very much. He's 6 minutes older than me. If you don't know that, he's in finance. He's in college for finance. I'm very, very proud of him. He's very, very smart, very, very bright. So this happened before he was saved. Actually, now that I think about it, he probably got saved 2 years ago, because it was after everything had happened, and I ended up coming back to the church. I do remember I have a picture on my phone. There was one night, my brother lives with my dad, and I was living with my mom at the time, and he came over to visit, or I don't know, I don't remember what we were doing, but I was in bed and I was watching TV, and it was late at night, so I couldn't sleep because I was still wrestling with everything, and I wasn't in the church at this time, and Adam just stood in my doorway. If anyone has brothers, if you're a girl and you have brothers, you understand, they'll just kind of come in, flex in the mirror and then leave. But it's okay. So he came in and he's just standing there with his arms crossed, like looking up at the TV, like dad stance. And he didn't say anything. He just came in and I was watching Timmy Turner, Fairly Odd Parents,
Yep.
and I was watching it, and he just like came in and just stood like this, didn't even look at me. He was just like just watching TV, and he stood like that for like a minute, and I was like, "What do you need?" And he was like, and he always could see me, and he saw me when I was in and out of the hospital, and he always knew when it was getting bad again. And so even before he was saved, I think he always had that spirit of discernment to be able to say, "Hey, something isn't right here." So he would come in and check in on me, and he wasn't even saved yet. And so I remember that same year that happened, what I just said happened. I think was the year that he got saved. It was like 20. I think it was 2023 or 20. Yeah, it must have been 2023. Anyways, doesn't matter. We were at Encounter Conference. I love Encounter Conference. Camp is okay, camp's whatever. I love Encounter Conference. And I think it was the first night, and I was standing. I was standing in like the second row. Like there's the front row, there's the altar, the front row, and the second row, and then the third row. I think it was in the second or the third row. And I was initially over on the left side, and I saw Adam was on the altar at the right side. So I was like, oh, I want to get over there. I'm nosy. I want to see what's happening. This is the first Encounter Conference Adam's ever been to, and he's not saved yet. It's like I want to wiggle my way over there and just kind of check out what's going on. I'm gonna supervise.
Yeah.
And he was crying, and Asher was praying for him, and I couldn't hear anything, but I knew in my heart that it was done, that he had accepted Jesus. And my spirit recognized his spirit. He didn't even need to tell me that he got saved. I just knew it. I knew it. And so Asher finishes praying for him, and all the guys are around him, and Andrew was over there, and I remember lifting my hands, and I looked up to heaven. I was like, God, you pulled me out of the pit. That was all I ever asked for you to do, was I didn't care about being successful. I didn't care about having a fulfilling life. I just wanted to not hurt in my heart. You did that, and now you're doing this. I had cried over my brother a lot. Like, I know the Lord was sick of me, sick of hearing about this kid, Adam. But I needed my brother to come with me. I could not imagine an eternity without him.
Right.
And I said to the Lord over and over again, I don't care if this is not biblical. If I can't have him with me in heaven, then I want to give up my salvation. Like, please do not separate us for eternity. We were born in this world together. Please do not make me spend my entire life in eternity without him.
Right.
And every single prayer that I prayed came back to me as I'm looking at him getting prayed. And I'm like, God, who are you? What kind of God is this?
Okay.
What kind of God is this? Like,
Right.
why?
Yeah.
Like, what? And so I don't even remember your initial question. But yeah.
No, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it answered it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he was at. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's been an anchor. Even though I didn't get to see him because he's busy, because he's successful or whatever. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
God is faithful.
For sure. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Do you have any siblings?
I do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have.
You have brothers, you said?
2 younger brothers.
Aww.
One's 5 and one's 9.
Oh my gosh, how cute.
So they're both little. So I'll put on it's like the animated version of The Chosen, right? They have it. They have it. And
Okay.
I put it on for my brothers. Like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like, because we always wrestle with each other. Like,
Yeah.
put on something we all like on the TV.
VeggieTales.
They've never once watched.
I've never watched VeggieTales actually.
Neither have I yet, but
yeah, watch party. Let's do it.
Let's do it. But yeah, so I put that on for them, and they're like, at first they're like, oh my God, what is this? And I kind of was just like, just watch it, and they were like watching. So this is where the 2 children come to Jesus when he's, he has all his stuff laid out, and Jesus is talking to them, teaching them. And my little brothers was just like, huh, like who is this guy? Like, why is he teaching these kids? Why is he not have a home or anything like that? Because he was like bouncing around. And so that was like my cue. I was like, I gotta drill them with the gospel real quick. So I like went like a deep dive, and the first Bible I ever read was a King James Bible. Big mistake. So I gave it to my little brother. I don't know why I did, but I was like, all right, let's have a Bible study. And obviously I was the one reading because my little brother like cannot pick up what
I can't even read King James Version.
I still can't.
Caleb probably can. I don't even know.
So that's what I was saying. Is like I was just, I'll have him highlight stuff. I don't even know what was going on. He was just highlighting, right? But we were going into it, and he was taking notes, and he was really starting to get it. So we were in the book of John, because that's when I first got saved. That was like the first book I was reading. So we were in the book of John. We were just going through it, and he started to like it, and now both of them go with my mom to the church. Which is, it's great. And my little brother, he's 5, and he's like just getting into kindergarten, so like sweet, like he's getting like the early jump that I wish I had, right? So like I'm just hoping that, and he says he really likes it. Like a lot of the kids, obviously, like and I don't hang out with the pre-Kers and kindergartners, but
I don't think you should.
But he says that they're really nice and that it's a great environment, which was the same way with me when I first came. Was like everyone's just so nice. So I was just like, yes, that everyone was, that he liked it. And same thing with my other brother, who's 9, Talon. He says he likes it as well, and he's a little bit older, so it's kind of like he's gonna start gradually getting into like we believe and stuff like that. We're actually gonna teach him the Bible and stuff like that, and I'm just hoping that, because Caleb here teaches We Believe.
I taught We Believe.
Really? Wow.
I taught We Believe, and I had a kid shush me.
Wow.
I won't say his name because he might be watching, but I was teaching, and I was about to start class, and I was 18. Who put an 18-year-old in charge of, what are the 8th graders?
Right.
Middle schoolers. I'm like, I'm barely older than you guys are. And I was like, Kelly was supposed to be with me, and she wasn't because she was sick. So she texted me as class is starting, hey, I won't be there. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do we do? They're not going to listen to me. I have no authority. I don't know. And so I was like, okay, guys, like, let's start class. I don't know. They were reading Pilgrim's Progress. I've never even read Pilgrim's Progress. I don't even know who made it. And so I was like, guys, let's start class. And this kid was like sitting, like he was like facing the ladies naturally. And so he was this way. I'm like over here. So he has back turned to the front of the classroom. And I was like, okay, like, hey, like I called him by name. I was like, let's sit down. He does one of these. Diva, if you don't put your butt in that chair right now, I'm going to go get a felony. Because I'm 18-year-old and I can't fight like I used to when I'm a minor. I did not take full advantage of that. You have no consequences when you're a minor if you start fighting. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
I'm not encouraging any under 18 people to start fighting. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
But yeah, so that's one thing I'm a little nervous about is with my brother, because I've been in there while Caleb is teaching, and the kids are great. I'm not discouraging that, but they don't listen a lot. They're very talkative, we could say. Okay.
Caleb runs that like the Navy.
Yeah,
it's a military program.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping my brother like is good with that, and he actually goes there, and he's a very smart kid. He's in like advanced math and stuff like that. Like he is smart. And so I'm hoping like he goes there willing to learn, actually wanting to know who Jesus is and what he actually like what he truly taught us. So I was just like, I'm hoping for that he like truly wants to get to know Jesus more and get to know his teachings and get to know scripture, because I wish I was like, if I was like younger, I would have been a We Believe warrior. I would have loved it.
We have a great program.
Yeah.
We have a great program. Like even Launch. Is he in Launch? Launch is great. I love Launch.
I don't think so. Or maybe he could be. He's in 3rd or 4th grade now, so
I don't know what they do. I just teach. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
okay.
Well.
Yeah. So.
Once he gets to 6.
yeah,
If he's tall, we can just.
yeah, he's tall.
It's fine.
He's a tall kid. But yeah, so they're growing up, and I'm just like, they're going to church now, like perfect. And um, the thing is my brothers have like not not church trauma, but like they were introduced to church in quite a way.
Mm.
Because I used like I very vaguely went to this church that's up the road from my house. It's a Methodist church.
Yeah.
And Caleb knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Methodist church are fun.
Yeah.
I've been to some Presbyterian churches, and they're
Oh really? Yeah.
stony faced. Huh? Yeah, my grandma's church.
Oh wow. Awesome.
Yeah, they love me there. I love them.
She's a great preacher, by the way.
Shout out. No, sorry. Oh my gosh. Let's check the spirit of pride.
But yeah, so like that was kind of like their thing, and we walked in one day, February maybe. I don't know when Pride Month is, but we walk in there, and it must have been that month, but there's flags all over the church, all over, like there's like a banner like or something. There was something like on the stage or something. There was something very it was all over, right? And I didn't think anything of it until I actually like noticed like, oh, that's not what it's supposed to be. But
Yeah.
so like I noticed it now, and my brother. So that like the church itself, I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's not like a terrible, awful church. It was actually like they definitely had like nothing close to the environment and the community that we have now at our church. But it was a good, small, cozy church. It was nice. There was a lot of older people, and we had like a little small group or I don't know what it's called, but we would go that same day at night, and they'd have like a youth group, and we'd get together and do stuff like that. And so that was kind of their first introduction to a church, and now they're here, and it's like, oh wow,
Very different,
this is way different.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely different denominations. It's pretty like I hope my brothers aren't super confused on it, but it's always kind of like I'm still confused. There's like the Lutheran ones, the Methodist, the Baptist.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I
don't know what.
I leave that to Andrew and Zach Trask to whatever. Okay, whatever you guys are looking into it, I'll let you do your thing. I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if you have any more questions. I personally,
I don't know.
I don't
Let's see.
think I do right now.
Do you want to know how I got these questions? I literally Googled questions to ask in a podcast.
Oh wow.
I changed them, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. How are we doing on time? What's our time thing?
You're about an hour.
Okay,
That's
fine.
not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Usually I talk for hours. The only other one that I have is what's something you learned or were told that changed how you view and handle your faith? Like for good. Like something that like a mentor or something said that like completely like blew you away.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Like a paper bag in the wind.
Yeah. That's good. So this is like it all leads up. So Liam is
LPG.
so yeah, so I came to the church 2 weeks before our camp, and he just like met me the first time, and that day he like paid for it for me to go.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I did hear about that.
So I was just like, well, I'm paid for it, I might as well go, I guess. And I went, and he was like the cabin leader, so like he was just like the top G.
The top dog.
Like,
Top dog.
Yeah, he was like
he's responsible for 12 children.
Yeah, he was all like he ran all the stuff. So I was just like asking him any question, like every question. And one thing that multiple people have said to me is that with faith comes persecution. And like now it's just like something that I'm like I've definitely picked up, and like a lot of people that I bring evangelizing with me, I let them know that before we even start is like, if someone says something to you, don't get upset. That's all I'm gonna say. And so a lot of people, Caleb for example, Liam, Pastor Josh, who else? I don't want to leave anyone out. Zach Trask. Jameer.
Mm.
They've told me like a bunch of stuff. It's all centered around that. If you truly endure the faith, you will be persecuted.
Yeah.
And that is something that like I had to like get around because like I was kind of like what you were saying, kind of stubborn. Like no, like
I don't wanna do
don't
that.
tell me I'm wrong. Like I'm right.
What do you know?
And so like when I first the first time I ever I was evangelizing at the mall over in the New Hartford, right?
Who was the kid that you? I'm so sorry.
What?
There was a kid that came because you invited him. Do you remember that?
Oh, yep, I do remember that.
He was like,
Yeah.
some kid invited me, and I was like, that's gotta be Silas.
But yeah, no. So like I think that actually it was the time after, but like my first time going, they told me that like before, and I was just like, all right, I know this. And that very same day, I ran into someone who was atheist, and we had a very long conversation, and I am going to like completely take all of it away from me. The Holy Spirit completely spoke through me because I knew nothing, and it was just like words were coming out that I did not know I knew, which I didn't. And them like, and he like actually took into account. So this person, I don't know their name. It was like a, you know, not a quick thing actually. It was like long. It was like almost like an hour long of us talking in this mall, and he was just like, if God is real, why would he? Because this person struggled with bisexuality, so he liked both male and female. So like he was saying that, and he was just like, well, if God is real, why would he create me to like both male and female, or why would he make someone who was born this way?
Yeah.
And he said, well, it doesn't. And then this is the big like the question that like I did not know the answer to, but the Holy Spirit told me it, and he said, well, doesn't God hate me because I like both? And the first thing came out of my mouth was like, no, he doesn't. No. He does not hate you. He hates the sin. And that was the first thing I said. And then it just went from there. And I could not quote everything I said, but it was it was all along the lines of the fact that he loves you so much. He has this unconditional love for you, but he hates this sin that is perverting what God initially intended for the world. And he like his eyes wide, and he was just like in shock like when I said that, because I don't know if he took offense to it or if he was like actually like encouraged to like understand a little bit more. And by the end, he was like, okay, I'll think about it. I never heard from him again. Never heard from him. I hope I do. And the best way I could describe him, what I don't know, it's this guy in some movie, and he looks just like him, like very identical. And I'll tell you about it later because I completely forgot the name. But yeah, that's not important. But
let me know let me know.
But no, so like at the end, he was just like, okay, I'll think about it. I said, well, all it takes is I challenge you. I said I challenge you for a week, 15 minutes a day. What it was for me, and I probably wouldn't encourage this, but I like had so much faith in that this was true, because when I first encountered Jesus, I just flipped to a random page of the Bible, and it changed me just that. So I said, I encourage you, 15 minutes a day, flip to a random page and read it. And maybe it wasn't the best idea. Maybe it was.
Solid.
Maybe it was. Yeah. He flipped to something that was miraculous and it changed him. I really do hope so. But that was like he threw some things at me, some hate here and there. I won't go to depth because it's bad words. But I was just like, okay, yeah, this is what persecution is. I can handle this. And that was like something that I definitely just picked up as I continued going, is just grace. That grace and truth is like what I'm thinking of right now. Is I had a very tiny part of it. Kind of flipped, honestly. As of right now, I have a good truth portion, and I'm kind of working on the grace right now, like how to get a good balance between it. But at first, I had this much truth and I had a lot of grace, and where I was just like, well, you're forgiven, you're good, which is like, well, But so now I'm kind of like
yeah.
getting it both right there to
Yeah.
the middle.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely something that I've been working towards. Just I try once a week to go out to that same mall and evangelize, and it's been working great.
That's
So
awesome. Yeah.
yeah,
One of my I forget, I think it was Christopher Yuan that came to our church, and he's been to our church a few times. Do you know Christopher Yuan?
I don't think I do.
So he formerly was a gay, I believe, drag queen, but also was one of the top suppliers in Miami for hard drugs. And
Mm.
he's reformed now. Actually, I'm pretty sure he has a wife. I have his book. He's got a book called Holy Sexuality and the Gospel, I believe is called. The one thing, so I used to be pansexual, bisexual. I didn't, if you were breathing, I didn't really care. And so when he came, one of the things that offended me the most was when I was away in rehab. It came up, oh, can you be gay and be a Christian? And one of the women there that I highly, highly respected, that was a teacher, she said no. And I was like, the F I can't. Like, what do you mean no? What do you mean no? I love women. They're beautiful. Like, men are awful. Like, what do you mean I can't be gay? Like, they suck. Why not? This is a better choice. This is a safer choice for me than putting myself in potential danger. I mean, you can put yourself in potential danger with anybody. But the way that I viewed it was that men were awful, women were okay. And so immediately I got offended. And I remember, I mean, I worked through all of that through the grace of God and came to my own conclusion. And since then, I've talked to a lot of people who were gay or bi or any type of anything. And I always tell them when I share the gospel, the goal is not heterosexuality. Okay? The goal is holiness. Okay?
Right.
Don't get your H's confused. Because you can be heterosexual and be a terrible person. I've met plenty of them. You can be gay and be a terrible person. I've met plenty of them. Just like you can be heterosexual and be okay. I've met homosexual people that are great people, love them.
Right.
And another thing that he said is a lot of times people use God hates the sinner but not the sin. I love it. But when I share that, I also have to keep into account that people who don't view sin, they just view themselves. So there is an identity problem.
Right.
So they are gay. That's who they are. That's their identity. So like you did great. You did phenomenal. Like I would have handled it the same way you did. Like the Holy Spirit was definitely moving on that conversation.
Right.
I just like to throw this out there for everybody else, is that a lot of times when talking to people dealing with any type of sexual sin of any sort, when you say God hates the sin, not the sinner, what essentially you're saying is God doesn't hate you. He just hates who you are. That's what they hear. And so like it's that getting through that language barrier for any people who might be watching that are either struggling or not struggling with their sexuality. If you're okay in your homosexuality, that's something that you got to work on with the Lord. I'm not going to touch on that. But we are not saying God doesn't hate you, he just hates who you are. There is a disconnect there. Like sin is not who you are. There is something outside of you being gay. And I didn't know that for the longest time. I thought being gay is everything. It's my personality, my pride, like it's my everything. Like the first thing I tell people is like, "Oh, like I'm gay." Like that's what you do. Like that is everything to you. And it's a miserable existence. So for anybody that's watching that is either gay or, bi or pansexual, trans, anything, you have worth outside of who you're attracted to.
Right.
And I love saying that because not a lot of people hear it, because I think a lot of people who share the gospel that don't come from that don't get it. It's like trying to like explain to a man like how bad periods suck. It's like he's not going to get it. He's never had a period.
Right.
So there's always
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
no, I think you did great. That's phenomenal. I love that you share the gospel like that because I'm scared. I'm scared. Yeah, I much prefer to do it through friendships, but
Right.
yeah.
No, I get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I'll just close with this is
Yeah.
just that no matter what it is that you're struggling with right now, and I'm speaking directly to the people who are watching right now, is that no matter what it is, whether you're struggling with same-sex attraction, or you're struggling with addictions, or you're struggling with anything, anything that you are struggling with that you want rid of, Jesus is the only way.
Yeah.
And he's the only way. And for me, for example, I struggle with depression, and it takes a good amount of people. It takes some people a long time with the pills to overcome that. It was an instant with Jesus, and I just want everyone to know that he's so faithful wherever you're at, and he will meet you where you're at. That's why it says you can't come to him as perfect, because none of us are. Come to him as you are, and he will set you free. So I just want to encourage everyone in that, and I just want to thank Ashley for like just coming on and like sharing your testimony, because it's brave to do that, to
Thank you.
share your testimony and stuff like that. And yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. I loved being here. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love what
definitely.
you said. Guys, don't worry about fixing anything before you step in church. I've seen so many of my trans friends and so many of my gay friends, they come to church and they don't know how they're going to be looked at. Don't worry about that. You're only
Right.
going for one person.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.